Hello students, today we are going to start with topic 3.13 Kirchhoff's rule. Students, we know that in a circuit, if the resistors are connected, then they can be connected in series combination, they can be connected in parallel combination, but sometimes the connection of resistors is such that they cannot be solved by using series or parallel combination method. So for that, Kirchhoff's rules are used. So for complicated circuits, Kirchhoff's rules are very helpful to obtain the equivalent resistance as well as current in the circuit as well as potential at any point, etc. Now before we start Kirchhoff's rules, let us know about some related terms with the circuit. Network. Network is an electric circuit which consists of components like resistors, capacitors, batteries, etc. connected using conducting wires. So students, in a network, there can be batteries, there can be resistors, and also sometimes other components can be there like capacitors, diodes, etc. But here we are going to study only those circuits or networks which has resistors and the batteries connected in a circuit. Now students, these are called components of the circuit, and these are the connecting wires by which or by means of which these components, that is resistors and the batteries, are connected with each other. So here a simple network is shown to you. This is called a network, means it is a circuit. Now in a network there are junctions as well as there are loops. Now what are these junctions and the loops? So students, in this network you can see here at point B there are 3 wires meeting. Even at point A also you can see there are 3 wires. 3 connecting wires are meeting at point A. So whenever you can see this type of points where 3 or more than 3 wires are meeting, then that point is called the junction point. Here this point C, D, F, E, they are not the junction point, because you can see that here at point C this wire is simply turning on the right side. Here there is no division of this wire. No division of wire means here the current is not going to divide. Remember, whenever the current divides or current meets at any point, that point can be called as a junction point. So you can see here at point B, this current as well as current from this side are meeting here, and then the total current is moving in this direction. So either current is meeting at a point, or you can see here this current is coming here, current I, and it gets divided into these two paths, I1 and I2. So this is also a junction. But here at point C you can see there is no division of current. The current which is moving here, the same current will move in this direction. So students, always remember, when the current meets or divides at a point, that point is called a junction point. Now about loop. loop is a closed figure. Loop is a closed figure. So here also you can see in this network how many loops are there. You can see this upper loop A, B, C, D, A. This is one loop. Then you can see lower loop also. E, B, A, F, E. This is second loop. Then also one more loop is there. E, B, C, D, A, E. So here in this network there are 3 loops. So students, I hope you understand about junction and the loops in a network, and even what is network also. So students, once again I'll repeat that Kirchhoff rules are very useful for analysis of electric circuits. If the electric circuits are with complex combination of resistors, Kirchhoff rules are used. Now about Kirchhoff's first rule. It is also called the junction rule. Why it is called a junction rule? Because it is applied. This rule is applied at a junction. And students, you know that what is junction? Where 3 or more than 3 wires they meet. That point is called a junction point. So here in figure you can see this is a junction point. You can see here the currents are meeting and moving away. So at this point the currents used to meet, and so we call that point as a junction point. Now students, the charge can never accumulate at any point. So during the flow of the current at this point O, the charge will never accumulate, and so the current, even the current will not remain stationary at that point. They will also move only. So here whatever the current is coming towards the junction, that will be equal to the current moving out of the junction. Students, once again, whatever the total current moving towards the junction will be equal to the current moving out of the junction. So students, in this figure, how many currents are moving towards point A? Look at the figure and tell me how many currents are moving towards the junction. So you can see that current I1 is moving towards the junction. Current I3 is also moving towards the junction. So these two currents are moving towards the junction. So we can see that I1 plus I2 is the total current moving towards the junction. Should be equal to, which are the currents moving away from the junction? You can see this current I2, current I4 and current I5. They are moving away from the junction. So these total currents which are coming towards the junction should be equal to the total current moving away from the junction. So I2 plus I4 plus I5 is equal to this. So students, I hope you understand about first rule. Once again, let us see the statement. At any junction, the sum of the currents entering the junction is equal to the sum of the currents leaving the junction. And so the algebraic summation of all the electric currents meeting at a junction is 0. Means at a junction the total current is always 0, because the currents which are coming towards the junction is equal to the currents they are moving away from the junction. And so if we'll add all these currents like this, bringing this from right hand side to left hand side, these terms, they will become minus. And so if we'll all add these currents, then the result is always 0. Now about Kirchhoff's second rule. It is also known as the loop rule, means it is applied to the closed path or closed loop. Students, you can see here a closed loop in a figure. A, B, C, D, E, A. So this is a closed loop. And in this closed loop, you can see different resistors. Resistor R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. As well as you can see there are two batteries of EMF epsilon 1 and the other battery of EMF epsilon 2. Also you can see the currents moving in this loop. Here the current is I1, here the current is I2, here the current is I3, then I4 and I5. So you can see here in this loop there are different currents, different resistors are there, and even there are two batteries or a cells. Now how we can apply this second rule to this loop A, B, C, D, E, A, that is this loop. When we move along the clockwise path, that is starting from any point, suppose point A, if we are moving like this A, B, C, D, E, A, then we can say we are moving clockwise. So during the motion in clockwise in this loop, always remember that any point in the network or a loop has a potential. So here this point A has a potential VA, that is potential of point A is VA. So starting from point A, if we are moving in this direction, that is in the direction of current, you can see current is also in the same direction. We are moving in this direction and current is also in same direction. So in such case, what happens at this resistor, as the current I1 flows, so potential drops. How much potential? We know that V is equal to IR. So here I1 R1 potential will drop. Now when we move further, a cell is there. Which terminal is there of this cell? So first it is negative terminal and then it is positive. So during our motion, first the negative terminal comes and then positive. So we can say that the potential increases because from negative to positive. And as the potential increases, we can write plus sign for that. And here for I1 R1, as the potential decreases, we used to put negative sign here. So students, from any point when we start to move, potential goes on changing. Here as the resistor comes, so from this point to this point, the potential changes. Again from this point to point B, as there is a cell, again the potential changes. Again now there is a resistor in between, that is R2. So from this point to this point, again potential changes. Again we move to point C and you can see there is one more path is there in a circuit or a branch is there. So definitely potential will change here also. Then again there is a battery or a cell, so again potential will change. So whenever there are batteries or a resistor or any other components are connected in a circuit, at each and every point the potential may change. So now let us start Kirchhoff's second rule at this loop A, B, C, D, E, A. So starting from point A, the potential of point A is VA. Students, look here in this equation. So we have started from point A. So we have written that potential is VA of that point. Now we are moving clockwise. So we are moving in this direction. And you can see this current I1. It is also in that direction. So I1 into R1. I1 into R1, but in the direction of current, so this much potential, that is I1 R1 potential, will decrease, and so it is minus sign. In the direction of current, IR is negative. Now terminal of battery, which terminal of battery is coming? Negative, and then it becomes positive. So negative to positive. So here for this battery or a cell, we will take this epsilon 1 positive. Then again moving along this path, no need to write potential VB here. Simply now we will consider the resistors and the cells only. So again, if we'll move from here to this side, you can see current is moving towards. Now it is not in the direction of current. Current is in the opposite direction of our motion, of what we move. We are moving in clockwise direction, but current is opposite to that. So in that case, I2 R2 will be positive. You can see here I2 R2 is positive. Then we are moving again further clockwise. What is coming? Cell epsilon 2, cell of EMF epsilon 2 is there, but its positive terminal is first and then negative. So positive to negative, potential decreases, and that's why we will put the sign minus epsilon 2, because it becomes positive to negative. Then again moving further, this resistors comes in the path and current is I3, and you can see here that current is also in the same direction of what we move. So we are also moving in this direction and the current is also in same direction. So I3 R3 will be negative. You can see here minus I3 R3. Again moving further. Now in this path you can see once again current is moving towards us. We are moving in this direction. Current is moving opposite to us. So once again I4 R4. This much potential will be positive because opposite to the current. Again moving further in this path, we are moving in this direction, but you can see the current is opposite. So once again I5 R5 is positive. Finally we started with A, so at starting point we have written VA is equal to, finally we reached at point A, same point. So after completing this process, if we are reaching to the same point, we used to write equal to VA, because potential at this point is not going to change. That means potential of point A is remains same only. So I hope you understood this process of applying positive and negative sign for the terms IR and the term epsilon. One shortcut method is like this, that always put equal to sign first, and then when we move in a clockwise or anti-clockwise, there is no restriction in the motion. You can move in a clockwise direction or you can move in a anti-clockwise direction. So students, after applying Kirchhoff's second rule to this loop, we obtain this equation. In this equation you can see both the side VA on left side and on right side cancel, so here remains 0, and on this side left side remains this type of terms. And you can see here on left side the terms are IR terms and there are terms with epsilon, means EMF of the battery. So we can do one thing to make it more simple, that on left side we will put the terms with IR, means current into resistance, that type of terms, and on other side we can put the terms related to EMF of the batteries. So we will bring this epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 towards right hand side. So here as it is positive, this side if we will bring, then it will become negative. Here this epsilon 2 is negative, but when we will bring towards right hand side it will become positive. So we can remember this in short as, during the motion either in clockwise or anti-clockwise, here we are moving in a clockwise, so in the direction of current IR is negative, and if the current is moving in the opposite direction and if we are moving in this direction, then IR term will be positive. And if we are writing these terms related to the EMF of the battery on this side, that is on right side, then whatever the terminal is coming first of that cell or a battery, that sign is taken. So here first which terminal is coming of this cell? Negative. So here we can put here negative sign. Then during the motion, here for this epsilon 2, which terminal is coming first? Positive. So we can put that as a positive. So here in this last equation you can see there are summation of the terms like IR. So summation of IR is equal to, which type of terms are here on right hand side? Terms related to EMF, that is epsilon. So is equal to summation of epsilon. And so the second rule states that the algebraic sum of the change in potential around any closed loop involving resistors and cells in the loop is 0. And so summation of IR is equal to summation of epsilon. Now about topic number 3.12, series and parallel combination of cells. Students, here we have taken this topic after the topic of Kirchhoff's rules. It is because if we know about the Kirchhoff rules, then that can be applied to obtain the result of series or parallel combination of cells. Now first one is about the series combination of cell. Students, you can see there are two cells, epsilon 1 and the second cell epsilon 2. They are connected in series with the help of point B or at point B. This R1 and R2 are the internal resistance of this cell. Now suppose if we consider the first cell, which is across point A and B, current is moving in this direction. You can see the positive of these cells are towards left side for both the batteries or a cell. and so we know that current will move in this direction. So if we'll consider only the first cell, then potential at point A minus potential at point B is called a VAB, that is VA minus VB. Potential difference across both these points where the cell with EMF epsilon 1 is connected. So this VA minus VB is equal to, now students, you can see, if we'll apply the Kirchhoff rule, then also we can write that if we move in this direction from point B to this side, then current is moving in this direction and we are also moving in this direction. So across this resistor R1, current flowing is I, so potential decreases, and so this term IR1 is negative. Then moving ahead, for this cell with EMF epsilon 1, potential increases from negative to positive, so we can say potential increases, and so here epsilon 1 is positive. So across these 2 points A and B, we can write VAB is equal to VA minus VB, means higher potential minus lower potential, and that is equal to epsilon 1 minus IR1 by applying this Kirchhoff rule to this path. This is called a path. Here see, this is not a loop. It is simply, we can call that this is a path only from B to A. Similarly, for second cell, it is across point B and C. So potential at point B is VB and potential at point C is VC. You can see here VB and VC. So higher potential minus lower potential, and this can be written as VBC. Again, same process as we done in this first equation. Here, in moving from C to B, in the direction of current, R2 is there. So IR2, this term in the direction of current, it will be negative. So we have put here this IR2 negative. Then what comes? Negative of this terminal, negative, and then this is positive. So when we move in this direction, negative to positive, so it becomes positive. So that's why epsilon 2, this term will be positive. So this is equation number 2. Now if we consider these two cells which are combined in series as a one cell only, and let that cell is equivalent of these two, that is E equivalent, and resistors, they are also combined with the cells. Let the equivalent resistance is Req. In that case, again we will apply that potential at point A minus potential at point C, that is VA minus VC. You can see here VAC is VA minus VC. Then students, now it is important to see here in next step what we did, we have put a common point, here also B and here also B, so this two will be equal only. Now what is VAB? So from equation number 1, VAB is this, and we don't have VCB, we have VBC. But if we write VCB in place of VBC, then the sign will change. Positive will become negative and this negative will become positive. So here this is kept from equation number 1 for VAB. For VCB, we know that we are writing VBC to VCB. So here this negative sign can be removed, and so I have mentioned here that VCB is equal to minus VBC, and so we can put here positive in place of negative and simply putting this term here. After simplifying, VAC is equal to epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus I into R1 plus R2. Normal simplification is there. Here the terms are with epsilon, and here this term is with I into R. R is this total resistance. Now students, if we compare this equation with standard equation, that is VAC is equal to E equivalent minus IR equivalent. Current flowing in series will be same, so it is simply I. So comparing this equation number 4 with 3, we can say that E equivalent is epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 and R equivalent is R1 plus R2. And so the result. So in series combination of cell, equivalent EMF is summation of the EMFs, and equivalent resistance is also summation of resistance. Now students, if this cell is connected opposite, means if the negative terminal is this side and positive is this side like this, then what we have to do? We have to simply change the sign. Here it is positive, but if this is reversed, that means if this cell is connected in opposite, then we have to put here this as negative sign, but resistance is always added. Here there will not be negative sign, because across the resistor potential always drops, and that's why for resistor there cannot be a negative sign here. So the same thing I have shown here, that if the cell is connected opposite to this, then here for this cell there will be negative sign, and if there are two cells connected in opposite direction like this, then the current is always taken in the direction of positive of the cell having higher potential, means battery with large voltage. You can see here this battery epsilon 1 is greater than that of epsilon 2, and so we have taken the current in this direction. If this is less than this cell, then we have to take the direction of current in this direction. So current always flows from a battery with higher voltage towards the battery with lower voltage. Now about the parallel combination of cells. You can see here these two cells, they are connected in parallel across these points A and C. Students, here we have taken point B1 and B2 also, but as this B1 is directly connected with A and there are no components in between. Here there is no resistor or a battery, so we can say that the potential of A and B1 is same only. Similarly here, potential of point C and potential of point B2 will be same, because in between these 2 points there are no components connected. Now suppose for these 2 combination of cells in parallel, if we can write this as an equivalent combination EEQ, then its resistance will be REQ. This is considered as only one cell. Then we can write like this. Now applying the method for obtaining the EEQ and REQ. Once again, potential between these 2 points will be same only across this cell as well as across this cell. We know that whenever the components are connected in parallel, voltage remains same. Voltage means potential difference remains same. So here I have mentioned this, that VA is equal to VB as well as VC is equal to VB2. Here VB1 and here VB2. Now VAC means from here to here for first cell. VAC is equal to VB1 B2, because as I said that VA is equal to VB1 and VC is equal to VB2, so we can write VAC is equal to VB1 B2, and that is equal to V only. Why V? Because as I said that potential across this cell will be equal to the potential across this cell, and so we have taken this simply as V. So now considering this path in the direction of current I1, there is a resistor R1. So in the direction of current I1, R1 will be negative, and moving from here to here, the terminal becomes positive from negative. So epsilon 1 is positive. So writing that, we get V is equal to epsilon 1, which is positive, and I1 R1 negative. Again, potential across these 2 points, that is for this also same only in parallel connection, and so moving from here to here, we can write V is equal to epsilon 2 minus I2 R2, same as this. Now in this equation, making subject I, will get this equation. Let us give this equation number 1. Similarly, in this equation, making subject I2, will get this equation. Students, now I will not show you all the mathematics, because these are the simple equations and you can easily obtain this type of results. Then at a junction, current I1 and I2 meets and the total current is I. See students, in the figure, in this figure you can see that here this current I1 and this current I2, they meet at point B1 and the total current becomes I. So we can say that I is equal to I1 plus I2. Remember Kirchhoff's first rule. So writing this, I is equal to I1 plus I2, and putting the value of I1 and I2 from this equation number 1 and 2, we get this step. Now next is reverse of LCM process. That means this can be written as epsilon 1 upon R1 minus V upon R1. Similarly, this can be written as epsilon 2 upon R2 minus V upon R2, and then putting the terms with epsilon together we get this, and then remaining these two terms with minus V common. You can see here minus V common. What remained inside? 1 upon R1 upon 1 upon R2. So that is here. So this is also a simple mathematics. How we can get this step after this, that is quite easy. And now making the subject V, here it is I, total current. Now making this subject V, we get this equation. Students, there is a little mathematical steps to separate this V, that is to get this equation from this equation, and I hope you will be able to do this type of mathematical steps. Now comparing this with standard form, that is V is equal to EEQ minus IREQ, we get EEQ is equal to this and REQ is this. So finally we have written the equivalent EMF as this in parallel combination and equivalent resistance as this in parallel combination for the two cells. Even this can be written in this way and this can be written in this way, and this we already know that for parallel combination of resistors the formula is like this. So I hope you understood this, but you have to sit with a pen and a paper and you have to do this type of mathematical steps, how to move from here to here. That will take 1 or 2 steps so that you can do easily yourself only, because in 12th standard I need not to show this type of simple steps. But still, if you have any difficulty, you can ask me. Next is about example number 3.6. Now students, in this example a cube is shown to you. You can see there is a cube and these are the edges of a cube. We know that there are 12 edges of a cube. Here this type of cube is made up of conductors and a resistors are connected across it. So you can see that along each edge there is a resistor. You can see at every edge there is a resistor, and the value of these resistors are same, that is given. So here each resistor is of 1 ohm. We have used the symbol for that resistor as R. Also a battery is connected. This battery of EMF 10 volt is connected across point A, that is this point, and point C dash, and we know that the current will flow through this battery, and after this point, which is a junction point, the current will divide. And so here for this network or this circuit, we can say, as there are many resistors which are in complex combination, we can find the equivalent resistance between point A and C dash by using Kirchhoff's rule. So here you can see there are many junction points. See, A is a junction, B, C, D, all these points are junction points, because at each and every point you can see there are 3 or more than 3 wires. Also you can see many loops. You can see this is one loop, this is second, then 4, 5, and so on. There are even many loops in this network. But to solve this network, there is no need to apply Kirchhoff's rules along each and every junction or each and every loops. We will simply consider a simple loop which consists of a battery and a resistors. So you can see here, this is also a loop consisting of battery and also the resistors along this path. Now students, the most important thing to solve this type of complicated network is to divide the current. Here a battery supplies the current. Now in this battery, the current always emerges from positive. We used to take the current from the positive of the battery. So the current which is moving out of the battery can be taken simply as I, but I have taken that as 6I because it is our choice to take the symbol for the current, that is symbol is I only, but how much current is coming out, that is actually not given here. So we can take it I or 2I or 3I or 4I, but here I have taken it as 6I. Why? It is because when this current is moving along this path, if I have taken that current as I, then when this current divides in these branches, then I have to write here this current as I by 3, even this as I by 3, and even here also I by 3. So to avoid this fraction, what I did, I took here this as 6I, so that when the current divides along these paths, we can take 2I, 2I and 2I. So summation is 6I. Now the question arises, then why we have not taken 3I? Because if we have taken 3I, then here the current will divide and we can write along this path I, along this path also I, and along this path also I. But it is because even when the current moves from here, again it gets divided. So if we have taken that as 3I, then along this path the current will be I, and then when it's divide here, again that will be I by 2 and I by 2 here. So once again there is a fraction. So if we take the current 6I, then that will divide along these branches, and in each branch the current will be 2I, and when this current, that is 2I, again divides along the 2 branch, we can take that as I. And so there is no need to deal with the fractions if we take 6I. Otherwise there will be a fractional currents moving in the branches. Now students, here the current divides equally in these 3 branches. it is because you can see some symmetry here. Symmetry is there. Here also resistors are, here also resistors are, and here also are same resistance. And if we move in this direction, then also we get some symmetry. You can see if we move here, then also it divides into two. If we move along this, then also it divides into two. And if we move along this, then also it divides into two. And everywhere the resistance is same for that division also. So there is some symmetry in the network, and so the division of current is equal. Otherwise, if there is no symmetry, then these currents which are dividing from the junction, that can be different. Now I have taken the current emerging as 6I. So this is a total current coming out of the battery, 6I, and after the division of currents, all the currents they used to meet at point C, and once again the current will come to the negative terminal of the battery. So whatever current is coming out, the same current will be moving in. So I have written here 6I and also 6I. Then here this 6I divides into three branches, 2I, 2I, 2I. So similarly at point C dash, you can see the current meeting are also 2I, 2I and 2I. That means if the division is 2I currents along each path, then when this meet at this point, and if the total current once again becomes 6I, then definitely here also there should be 2I, here also there should be 2I, and here there should be 2I. Current which are separating should be equal to the currents they are meeting at this point. So here this much division is done, that is at point A as well as at point C dash here. Now further, this current moves here, again at point B it divides into equal halves. So here it is 2I, so here it will be I and I. Similarly this direction, here it is 2I, here it will be II. Again this current 2I, from this point it divides into II. Why it is divided equally? Because if you will move from A to C, you can see this path, and from A to C along this D dash, you can see there is a similarity. The symmetry is equal. Similar type of symmetry is seen, and that's why the current division is equal. And so we get this type of division of currents. Once the division of current is made correct, then the rest of the process can be done by applying Kirchhoff's second rule. Now considering this path, which path? The path which consists of battery, that is these A, B, C, C dash and E, and once again A. So closed loop is formed. Once again students, if I start from A, B, C, C dash, then epsilon, that or E, that is battery, and once again to A. And if we'll apply the Kirchhoff's second rule to this closed loop, we get an equation. So I have applied this rule and we get this equation. You can see this equation is obtained. Let us apply. So now let us start from point A. In the direction of current, 2I into R will be negative. Remember, in the direction of current, 2I into R will be negative. So here I have kept minus 2I into R. Then again moving from point B to C. Again there is a resistance and the current is I. So in the direction of current, you can see current is also in that direction. So in the direction of current, this I into R will be negative. So second term minus IR. Then from point C to C dash, there is resistor I, and here the current is 2I. Why it is 2I? Because this side current I and this current I, they meet at this point. So total current will be I plus I is 2I. So here the current is 2I. So 2I into R, but in the direction of current it will be minus. So minus 2IR. Then from point C we are moving in the downward direction. But as we are moving in this downward direction, no component is there. Still no component. Component means either battery or a resistor. Now there is a battery. And which terminal is coming first? Negative. So if we are writing on the right hand side of equal to sign, then we will put minus sign. Or if we are writing in the same side, then negative to positive. So we have to write plus if we are writing on this side only here. But if we are writing these terms, IR terms on left side and E terms on right hand side, then whichever the terminal is coming first of the battery or a cell, that sign is to be taken. So here it is minus sign because negative terminal is coming. So minus E. So we have applied this Kirchhoff rule. Adding this, we'll get minus 5IR, and here it is minus E. Both the side negative, they will cancel out, and so we'll get 5IR is equal to E. Let us give this equation number 1. Now if we consider across points A and C this combination of resistor as equivalent resistance, and so we can take REQ, that is equivalent resistance between points A and C dash. Now students, remember what was the current from the battery or a cell? We have taken that as 6I, and resistance here is REQ, battery is E. So using Ohm's law to this circuit, we can write current into resistance. Current is 6I and resistance is REQ is equal to epsilon. It is like V is equal to IR. Here in place of V it is E, and current I is 6I from the battery and R is REQ. So this is nothing but it is Ohm's law only. So applying Ohm's law, we get this. Let us give this equation number 2. Now you can compare these two equations. This equation is obtained by applying Kirchhoff rule to the loop, and this is according to Ohm's law. Here also E, here also E. So these two must be equal. So I have written this, that is here, is equal to this, which is here. And then making subject REQ, we get REQ is equal to 5 by 6 into R. I will cancel. So this is the equivalent resistance between point A and C of the given network. But now, what is the current from the battery? The current from the battery is taken 6I, and so the current flowing from the battery, that is total current, is 6I is equal to epsilon or E, which is EMF of the battery, upon total resistance. This is not the new equation. You can see from this equation only, which we have used for this Ohm's law. If we make the subject 6I, that is total current, this REQ will be towards right hand side, so it is E upon REQ. So same we have written here from equation 2. But what is value of E, that is EMF of the battery? It is 10, so we have kept that. What is value of resistance R, that is equivalent resistance between point A and C dash? It is 5 by 6 R. But what is value of each resistance R? It is given 1 only. So if we put this value R is equal to 1, we get this as 5 by 6 ohm. So here REQ is 5 by 6. Now calculating this, we get 6I is equal to 12 ampere. Current, its unit is ampere. And so we get the total current from the battery, that is 6I. Now currents in each edge, you can see that in each edge what will be the current along this edge, along this edge. So here the currents are 2I and I. So in each branch you can see the currents either 2I or I. So for this, currents in each edge is either 2I or I. So if 6I is equal to 12, then 2I is equal to 4. You can obtain from this only. Now that is not difficult. And what will be I? You can see, divide this equation by 6. You will get I here, and here it will be 2. So now that is not difficult for you to get this currents 2I and I along each branches. So students, this is all about this example, how we can use the Kirchhoff rules. Students, I will advise you to watch this video 2 times or 3 times if you are not able to understand in one time. I am sure that you will be able to understand if you will watch this video again and again. Also, do the paperwork along with it.